I've been rich, Tom. They're the talk of the town, with their podcast that's turning us heads around. They're like a time machine to the golden days where grunge was kicking ass and alternative held sway. They got the noise, they got the voice, they got it all. Spinning records from the heart, straight from the soul. Talking music, talking life, there ain't no limit. Challenging the norm, telling stories so vivid. The banter's electric, full of sharp wind, sharp. You can't resist their swag, it'll do you no harm. Every episode is like a wild ride, so addictive. They're redefining podcasting, getting invented.
Penises?
Stop recording.
Is that what we're? Yeah. Stop recording so you can make that a drop, and then whenever I'm not here to record, you guys can just well, we're here with Bob, and then it's just penises, and that's all I say throughout the entire episode. You guys just are like, well, let's see what Bob thinks. Penises?
We'll have an entire episode of just you saying that.
All I say is penises.
Yeah, and it's
Great.
but it's literally just you saying it once. So the episode is 1 second long,
Yes.
and it'll easily be the most listened to episode of all time.
Yeah, well, that's what we figured out, is that we just need to start making our episodes 15 minutes or 15 seconds, and then instant fame.
We could be like the Vine of podcasts.
That reminds me, I want to see what Peyton's video is up to now, because last time we looked, it was 10,000 views, I think.
Rich, what's going on, man? It's been a long time.
Oh, absolutely nothing. Just same thing, different month. Has it been a month? It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's been about that.
All right.
So I heard you had a little bit of an injury. Are you?
Playing this phone.
No,
Are
I
you-
was looking. I just
we
said
don't-
I'm looking to see how many views Peyton's video has, because he posted this video on YouTube. It's like 15 seconds long, and within what was it, 2 days, I think he had 10,000 views. Short episodes equal more listens. That was a short video.
So penises make you think about short things.
Only when I'm thinking about you, baby. Only when I'm thinking about you. No, 10-second or 1 second episode
It's
gets
girthy, though.
multiple listens, and the 1 second episode was just going to be me going penises, and then that was it. So
I'm gonna find somebody to get that sponsored too. So there's 3 minutes of content up front that's all just ad sponsored content, and then that 1 second clip, and then 3 minutes on the back end of
dude,
another ad.
so look,
Luchu.
so
Luchu would definitely
Luchu?
sponsor. Yes.
Blue Chew will do it, and Manscaped, and maybe Hims.
I think this is our $1 million idea right here. This is the one.
We have episodes where we say one word or one statement, and then put we put the ads on. And I want to point this out. Jess has agreed to come on, but she also said she wanted to listen to some episodes to see what we're like.
Oh boy.
I really hope that this is not an episode she listens to, because this is not exactly premium content.
Wasn't there one that was just the kids? Give her that one.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
This is what our show is all about.
Yeah, it's all about the kids.
Yeah.
It's for the kid. Wu-Tang's for the children.
Yeah, we've, I said this last time. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's funny how you have all these different people we've had on over the years, and repeat guests and whatever, and the same garbage that we've done.
Dick and fart jokes.
Exactly.
Jesus.
It just cracks me up. But
Yeah. Well, it's the lowest common denominator. That's what
Well, I would have been
right.
back sooner, but I was mourning O.J. Simpson.
I'm sure you were.
Yes.
Well, we were speaking of mourning people. We were talking about one Mr. Johnny Bench, and we haven't heard much from him lately. And I was wondering if you'd been in contact with him.
Yes. I forget. Yeah. He may come out later, or may come on later. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. That's good to hear. That's good
oh,
to hear.
you gotta text him first. See if he can come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He's
All
got
right,
to
good.
be prepared. He demands a fluffer.
Jesus Christ, Richard!
What the fuck are we even doing here? So, anyway, you guys,
Did you know there was a Canadian basketball team?
yes,
You didn't
there
know
used
that.
to be two.
I know.
There used to be two. There was the Vancouver Grizzlies,
That's right.
and then there's the Toronto Raptors. And Vancouver used to have this big, gigantic, like 7-foot something dude named Big Country.
Brian Reeves.
Yeah, and but they ended up moving to Memphis because
It's like how the Expos moved to Washington.
Washington.
They're just infiltrating. Everyone is worried about Mexico not sending their best, and we're getting all these Canadians coming in.
Well,
Trading
look
our country.
Look at the NHL. The Quebec Nordiques became.
Oh no! That is their thing. Against the Canadian hockey, no matter what, they can have hockey. That's not surprising. I'd be more surprised if, like you said, Canada had a football team.
Oh, I thought you were saying teams leaving Canada
No.
to come to the United States. Okay, never mind.
Dude, they have a whole league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. Canada has its own football league.
Yeah.
You know what it's called? Canadian
Yeah.
Football League. That's what it is.
It's actually legitimate.
So anyway, what's been going on, guys? Any news for anyone?
Oh, I do want to address this because I did drop a line up front here. Rich, I heard you had a little bit of an injury. Are you good now?
It wasn't an injury, just sprained my ankle. Not even sprained. Like I said, just getting old. I think it was more like an arthritis-y thing. It kind of worked its way out. I walked the dog. We're all good.
You're good now? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Just making sure. I didn't want to, hear any horror stories about you being laid up or anything.
Right.
No.
Yeah, Rich's foot fell off the other day.
I'm tough. It's just, happens.
Duct taped it back on.
Tussin, rub some tussin in. It was all good.
Rub some dirt on it.
You'd be fine.
Yeah.
Put the lap. That's what they say. Just take a lap and be fine.
Yeah, just rub some dirt on it, take a lap, you're good.
I actually was
I used to
curious.
do when I had concussions.
I know we do a lot of video game, TV show, whatever chatter. Either of you guys watch any Fallout yet?
I haven't watched Fallout. I want to, but I haven't really had the time.
That's on my list. And Dead Boy Detectives just started on Netflix, which was a spinoff of Sandman.
Did it?
So I want to watch that.
Oh,
I am caught up on X-Men 97, which is fantastic.
oh, it's so good.
And I sat down to watch Dead Boy Detectives today, and instead watched the pilot movie for Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and the next episode after that. I guess it was on before I was born. I think 79 is when it came out. And I'm sure it was on in reruns when we were kids, but I never watched it. So I'm like, let's check this out. And it is cheesy. Good, very simple. I like it. It hit me right where I needed to be hit.
That was my parents were big sci-fi. My dad had that on. I want to say it was like it used to run in reruns on the original iteration of the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. I remember it being in reruns when we were little too. I remember watching it.
I didn't know the robot was voiced by Mel Blanc.
Yeah, bitty.
Yep.
I did. I watched the first episode of Fallout, and I played Fallout 3 and 4 to some degree. I beat the games or whatever you want to call it. I just played them enough to know enough about the series, and was really interested about the TV show and watched first episode. And it's, even if you don't know the game, it's really well done. I was kind of surprised. Like, as much as I love, like, the Twisted Metal series, because I was big on that, mainly because I was a big fan of the video games. This was something that was like, hey, this could really catch a lot of attention for people that just don't know the game, and I think it's done that.
It is, and it's pushed up it has made the game popular again. People have been downloading Fallout 3 and 4 and put it like back on.
Yeah, I actually have. I had 4 for PS4.
And Fallout 76. Apparently, it made Fallout 76 popular again too.
Yeah, which
Really?
I can't get by 76 mainly because the release was so poor, almost like a Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fixed now. But
yeah, I and that.
Well, that's what people are comparing it to. There's apparently a Cyberpunk cartoon somewhere too, like on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
The kids like it so much that it made people go back to play the game even after the rough
release.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just really, really well done. I was very, very surprised, I guess. I don't know if it was because I was expecting something different. I knew going into it was going to be, and I'll say this, I think the series itself lends it to be more dramatic than it is. Like, to me, like something like Twisted Metal is more full-blown dark comedy. It does have its dramatic elements, but it's more meant to be poking fun at certain things. Fallout, I think, is just more meant to be more of a serious show, which I think leads itself to how the game really is. I mean, it's not, it's got funny elements, but it's not supposed to be that way. But I think I was just surprised about how really, well done it was, and I'm looking forward to catching up with the rest of it. I just, didn't have the time to do anything beyond episode 1. I recommend it though. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into it, but I've just been between the draft and then just everything that's going on down here and trying to get things sorted for the move and everything. I've been up to my eyeballs in crap. So
yeah, we'll have to dive in on a deep one, but man, that draft was fun. So
yeah, that's definitely some good Jelts material there.
Is this the football one or the WE?
We're not talking about the Raw and SmackDown draft.
We'll carve out a quick 30 seconds to a minute here, Rich. We'll just say this. I would say Eagles, bar none, compared against any other team, not only had the best draft, but beat it by multitudes. Like, they just crushed it. It was awesome. And not only that, they set themselves up for next year, which is just even better.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
love it. So anyhow.
Yeah, next year when they're drafting 32nd.
I should have just killed it right there.
Yeah, what that means, Rich, is that they'll have won the Super Bowl. Rich, they're actually going to start paying them.
I saw the college ones. Yeah.
No. They're in talks right now. And Tom and I talked about this briefly on one of our Jelts episodes, but they're actually going to basically let them form a union and basically bid for them and stuff like that. And they're going to pay them like legit money to play college football now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which, okay. So I think that actually, to me, lends a broader question. So that entails with all sports, doesn't it? Or is it just football?
Well, therein lies the rub, my friend. It's just for football.
Okay. So I was curious because, you would think that this would transpire down to different sports, correct?
I'm very hesitant to say yes, but I have a feeling that it'll translate to like college basketball at some point. But I can't see it happening in baseball. I can't see it happening in college soccer, college lacrosse, college hockey, any of that stuff, just based on the fact that when you look at college sports and you look at what's bringing in the money for the programs, it's going to be your football program and your basketball program.
Okay.
You're not really making a ton of money off your baseball program, your soccer program, lacrosse.
Right. And I think that answers my next question, because I was going to take it non-sports related. One of the things that we do in education is that content that you create using school-owned devices or whatever, time is actually property of the district, right? And it makes sense. I mean, you're using, it's weird, but that's just kind of how it goes. But it kind of makes sense in the same way. You're already getting paid if you take the name, image, likeness, that whole thing for college football right now. Let's pin that to collegiate arts or whatever. So let's say I have a painting that I've done in class that is the next Picasso.
I think that's different in that it's an assignment for a class. It's still your creative, stuff. Like, I get what you're saying, because there are companies where, like, if you invent something and you invent it on company time, and the invention or the program or whatever becomes the property of that corporation or that company, whatever. I can't see them doing that with art. Now, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I kind of feel like if you start a thesis, or you start a scientific paper, if you are conducting like an experiment and for school, I don't think that the patents that come from that, if you create a new, like a cure for something, or you create some kind of new whatever scientifically, I don't think it belongs to the school. I could be wrong.
I don't know that.
And in the same way, I don't think the art could.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's interesting because I know, Rich, you kind of on the same umbrella. So you program, right?
Yes.
So say for the company you work for, you program something that is, out of this world, next generation, whatever. But you do that on company time, company dime. They own it.
Yes.
Right. I just think that at some point there's I don't know. It just makes me think interesting things, like there's going to be some kind of rift there at some point.
Well, I'm very interested in this whole conversation. Let's say that you pay a gymnast. If you have a gymnastics thing and you're paying to get people there, can those people then go and perform in the Olympics? Because don't you have to be an amateur to be in the Olympics?
It's a good question. That's a good question. And that's where it's yes and no, because if you look, the NBA players play in the Olympics. But the thing is, most of the athletes from the other countries can do whatever. I as far as I know, like I know soccer, it's all the people in the professional soccer that play. I think that was like a self-imposed thing that the States were doing, wasn't it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know enough about the rules and regulations. I know that you have a whole, at least as far as the Olympics go, you have the whole IOC and all that, that regulate certain things.
Yeah, they're corrupt as hell.
Well, I think the other side of it, though, is that you're right. You do have countries that dictate their own, rules and regs for things like that. And I just think it's an interesting conversation to have, is like, okay, as the individual, where does that fall? You know what I mean?
Right.
Where exactly can you say, hey, I have this much creativity. I did this, and this, that I'm no longer within the bounds of either my company, my whatever. I can make money on myself type thing. I don't know. It's just an interesting conversation. I think that's what's going to happen. This whole name, image, and likeness thing for college football is going to open up a whole lot of stuff that I don't think a lot of people are prepared for.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I really do.
No, I agree.
I mean, you already have these weird things just in that alone of, hey, we finally are really releasing a college football video game. And yeah, granted, they're not getting this massive payday from it, but there's already a little bit of a handout, and I just wonder what else that's going to, because it's going to go well beyond just that,
right?
So I don't know.
I want to see, what I'm interested in seeing with that is if both the college game and Madden are going to come out fucked up this year and not work correctly for 3 months after the release, or if the college game is actually going to work and maybe Madden sucks or maybe they both come out, and shock of all shocks, they both actually work from day one without being all fucked up and having glitches that break the game.
Were they made by the same company?
Yeah.
Well, why not just make the same game with a different roster?
Because you would think that it could be that easy, but last year they introduced a new engine, and so what happened is all the coaches had to look the same. So like even if a coach normally wears like a hoodie and like just a hat or something or a beanie, they're wearing a visor, a polo shirt, and khakis. And what happened is, again, because they went to this new engine that caused all the coaches to have to look the same, when you would import a draft class, every single player would look exactly the same. They were all super skinny black guys, and they all wore the number 11. And like, I had the players that weren't super skinny black guys wearing the number 11, they had like arms growing out of their heads and stuff. They released a patch that supposedly fixed everything, yet somehow when I got to the end of my season in Madden that I just played, this was supposed to be fixed back in like December or like October, I think. When I got done the season I just had, I uploaded a draft class file or downloaded a draft class file and put it into the game, and it should have had all of that stuff ironed out. And lo and behold, I get to the first preseason game and everybody's all fucked up again. So
yeah, it remains to be seen. I don't know. I think it's interesting to see, those things come back around. We kind of played no mind to it years ago, because that was just something that was there.
well, because it worked. It wasn't as glitchy and buggy as this shit is now. Like, I remember uploading draft classes left and right, and there was no issues. Shit, I remember the game itself. I played countless seasons of NCAA 2008. Played countless seasons of Madden back in the day, and never really had an issue. And I could upload the draft classes. Everything was fine. But the newer Maddens have been like, they're fun to play, but shit, man, sort out these issues.
Yeah, I think that goes with a lot of games anymore. I don't know if it's because just like they go to Rush. I'm sure you guys I'm sure like me, like read articles all the time. I'm not just playing stuff, but just like reading articles, watching videos, whatever. I know one of the big ones that I've mentioned on here before is the city skylines. Yeah, I know you guys are familiar with those games. They're like the newer SimCity
Yeah.
type ones. And the latest iteration of that has just apparently been just a disaster, and just not good. And every time they release a patch, it's like just completely not good.
Did you see the thing that's come out recently from Microsoft?
No.
So they announced that their console sales have completely cratered, and that their top selling games right now are all on PlayStation 5.
Really?
Yeah. So every game that they have that's like one of their top sellers right now is currently, because it's a top seller, on the PlayStation Network.
Well, you know what their best selling game is, don't you? Minecraft.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
but aside from Minecraft, like if you look at, I think it's like that pirate game or whatever. I forget what they released on the PlayStation, but I think it was that Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I forget what else, but they said that those games they're selling like hotcakes. And so Phil Spencer came out and said, well, what this is showing us is that we need to meet the players where they're at. So who knows what that means for future game releases. And to my knowledge, I don't think they've released anything physically on PlayStation. I think it's all been digitally, which worries me even more.
Well, I mean, that kind of lends credence to what we've talked about for time and time again. I mean, that's obviously where it's going. I mean,
yeah. Well, they did say that they're going to be releasing. I guess this was their test, and so their test seems like it's going pretty well. So I'd imagine we'd start seeing bigger and better titles heading over there. So I can't imagine Starfield isn't too far away, you know.
I heard Tommy Talarico is going to release Starfield on the Amico.
Oh yeah, dude, there's going to be a special Amico version of Starfield, and it's just going to be you have a it comes with a black piece of construction paper, and you take a pencil. The pencil's not provided. And you poke holes in it, and then hold it up to a light, and that's Starfield on the Amico.
Oh man. Wonder what that system's doing these days.
Not existing.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of a system that exists, though, Evercade's coming out with two new versions. The what's going to suck is the handheld version, which was previously the only way that you could get certain Capcom games and certain games in general, because somehow or another the rights got divided up where such and such company is the only company that can release home versions of it, and such and such a company is the only one that can release handheld versions. So there were a bunch of games that they had on Evercade that were playable only on the handheld. But what was nice is you could plug the handheld into a TV through an HDMI out. It's the new version of the updated version is not going to have the HDMI out. So you're not going to be able to play it on your TV. But they're saying they're going up to newer high capacity cartridges. So should be interesting. I always liked the idea of that one.
Rich, are you playing anything these days?
No, I just downloaded Dave the Diver for the PS5 because it came out free with whatever version of PS Plus I have, but I haven't started it yet. I played a little bit of Cyberpunk 2040, whatever, yeah. A little bit of it. I got further than I did last time. It's okay. It's just your general role-playing game. I'm playing a lot of Mario Picross for the Game Boy. I don't know why. It's just easy and fun. I did just get an emulator for my iPhone that was legitimately released through the Apple Store.
Did it actually work?
Yeah, it works fine.
I was seeing that it was pulled already because
I saw that too.
Some kind of issue with like ads or something.
I don't know. I haven't had any problems with it. This is like the Delta one. I also just set up my EverDrive the EverDrive cartridge for I'm doing a little. It's not that kind of motion. It's me putting in a cartridge.
Yeah.
The Genesis one that has the Sega CD built into it.
Is that the Pro? The 5 or 7? Oh, the Pro.
The Pro, yeah.
Okay.
And it works well. I was just playing some translations on it. I forget exactly what it was. Yeah, good though. I don't know.
That's probably the one I should have got. I got the I think the X5, and I have the X7 for the Super Nintendo. Do I have the X? I don't know.
The EverDrive.
Yeah, let me see which one I have for the Super Nintendo, and then I have the got the Master System one, like a ghetto one off of Amazon, and I got that ED64 Pro off of Amazon also.
The Delta Game Emulator is still in the Apple Store. It's currently has 13,000 ratings with a 4.9 out of 5. People seem, and it's number 1 in their entertainment thing.
Oh, I got
no ads.
I got the X6 for the Super Nintendo, and I have my Crizio cart for the NES that works well.
I forget which one I have for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I
I'm
just want to
thinking
put
of the SD2 mess with those.
I just want
I
to point this out that on Apple stuff, our podcast is a higher rating than that app.
Well,
We're
yeah.
we're a 5.0, baby.
Well, you know.
With 13,000 reviews.
13,001.
Ooh, okay.
All
We're
right. So
number one.
Delta Game Emulator.
Delta, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. That one's cut and downloaded now. All right.
Oh,
Does it
and I
come with
picked up,
a free bag of pretzels and a drink?
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying there. That was fucking lame, dude.
Zing.
I got the backbone. I was playing with the backbone.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, what do you think of that thing?
It's nice. I think it was a waste of money on my part because even though I have that, I still don't play a lot of games on the phone. But it was neat to. I was playing Minecraft a little bit on the phone and the emulator on the phone. This is nice. I'm never going to use it. So,
How do you load games into Delta on your phone?
you download them and then you can there's a spot where you import them into the thing on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Import from files.
Okay.
I think you can even put them online somewhere too and grab them from like an online share, but I haven't really tried that yet.
Yeah, I have. I don't. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I have very many Game Boy game ROMs, but I think I have Pokemon Silver. That might be it. From when I had the Game Boy operator, because I should have copied. I had Mario Land 6 Golden Coins. I had Mario Land. I had Dr. Mario. I forget. I had a whole bunch, but you know, I'm dumb. So
You can get ROM sets off of the Internet Archive.
oh, good.
I think that was the last place I went to look. But it's only legal if you download ones for cartridges that you have, not that we're
Yes.
supporting piracy.
Well, I
Yes.
have the entire Game Boy collection, cartridge collection. It's packed up. It's in my closet. I just
Yeah,
can't
as you can
get
see
to it.
behind all of us, we all own
Sealed.
every single game ever made.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all my game systems are packed up. That's why when I've ordered, I have these EverDrives, but all of my games are packed. So this way I can actually play my collection without having to unpack stuff. That's what I do with my EverDrive.
And it's funny you said the Internet Archive, and I find myself, and it's funny, one of those things that I would visit over the years, but I find myself using that more and more for just like stuff that I'm looking for. That it's like, what happened to that? Or I wish I had access to that. Or what did this look like 5 years ago? Like I don't know. What a great, I don't know. I just love it.
We were
Absolutely
just
love it.
using the Wayback Machine at work to show off old websites that we created.
Yep. I love the Wayback Machine.
Websites, yes.
I do the same thing. I do it with ours, and it sucks because it doesn't pick up everything, but it picks up enough to where you can at least have some kind of aesthetic to it. Or
Yes.
yeah,
I'm glad it just had the homepage.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank God it doesn't have GeoCities on it.
No, I wish it did though.
Nope, I'm good with it. I'm so good with it not having GeoCities. That would be a good reason as to why I'm not getting hired for any jobs, is if they saw my GeoCities site.
That's going to be our goals. We're going to find it somewhere and dig it up and.
Fuck you, bud. No. Nope. That's gone for good. Thank God.
Your manifesto.
Huh?
Your manifesto.
Yeah. Thank the Lord, baby Jesus, that thing is gone, because
the first thing's going to be start a podcast at the end of 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if I was smart enough to know that shit was going to be a thing. Well, now I barely know my own name, and you think I was smart enough in 2000, 2001 to figure out that someday we were going to listen to fucking people talk about shit that are completely unqualified to talk about anything, and we were actually going to let them talk in our ears about whatever the fuck they wanted? No, fuck that.
That's most of the radio. It's been that way for years.
Yeah, well, they have a microphone and we do not, so we'll listen to every goddamn word they have to say.
They're not qualified any more than you and I are.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, speaking of qualifications for things, have we? How's Mr. Bench feeling? Is he there yet?
I think he's too tired to show up tonight.
He's too tired to show up. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he's probably just
He's 80.
lathering himself in Blue Emu right now as we speak.
Yeah, what is he? He's 80. What is he? 83?
Something like that. It's well past his bedtime.
No, he's not. He's only 76.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dang.
Hey, speaking of 76.
He's younger than my dad.
So
He's older. My age is a little bit older than my dad. Never mind.
The Sixers, the MVP of the Sixers, Mr. Joel Embiid, playing with Bell's palsy.
Yeah, the Jim Ross thing.
Yeah. So kudos to him for, you know.
I was ready to take a nap and I heard Jim Ross.
No, one of the players for the Sixers has Bell's palsy and he's still playing. Like, I just think that's kind of incredible because a lot of people, you know, take time off or whatever, but he's still bouncing the ball.
You need your face to play basketball.
Nah, man, but it's hard to play when you lose control of like half your body, you know. But so
yeah, no, I saw that. It was crazy, and you know, and I thought I said Jim Ross, you know, because he's the only one that comes to mind as far as popular folk, anyway.
He also just re-signed to AEW. He's just going to be doing their pay-per-views or whatever the hell they call them now.
You know, look, we've Bob and I have talked a lot of trash on AEW lately, for rightfully so too. And I know you've not been around for it, but I will say this: I did not watch what they did, but the most recent angle they ran this week with Tony getting, you know, beat up, and then selling the injuries at the NFL draft. I'll tip my hat to that. That's pretty good.
That's the only part of that whole thing that I'll tip my hat to.
Pretty good.
What was funny about that is they brought Tony out. He didn't say anything and just got his beat down, and then it faded off.
And they've already said that he's too hurt to show up to Dynamite this week or whatever it is.
Was it Jungle Boy, the Young Bucks, and knock off Akira Tozawa that beat him up? Is that who did it? Or was it just Jungle Boy?
It started out with Jungle Boy punched him in the gut and he like fell down or whatever. And then the Young Bucks, who aren't called the Young Bucks anymore, now they're just the EVPs, or whatever they're calling themselves. They came out and we're going to help you up, Mr. Tony Khan. And then they did that. The move's probably got a name, but it's like it's the pile driver where one of them jumps off the corner rope and pushes them down.
Yeah, it used to be called the Meltzer driver, and now they're calling it the Tony Khan driver. Yeah.
And that's what he sold as being totally destroyed by like his death. And then after all that, when they were moving back, to the back, that's when after he was already attacked by everybody, that's when the whole rest of the locker room came out to come see what they didn't come out to help him, just to look at the aftermath.
Yeah, I mean, look, the most unbelievable thing in wrestling, it's no longer that Rey Mysterio could beat Big Show, it's that Jack Perry could actually win a fight.
Week before, you had RVD, well, whatever 420 was, you had RVD win a 420 match, or a
420
match. Yeah, it was a battle royal. Not a battle royal. What do they call that when you got people coming to the ring and you got
it's battle royal.
Casino royal match or something. But yeah.
I'm sorry, a 420 match.
420 match, it's fine.
I don't know. It's funny because, you know, I read a lot about what they did, and, you know, I thought it was a good angle, but at the same point, it's like good angle on a ship that's sinking is, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I hope for the best so we have some competition, but sorry, it's over.
Yeah. It's
over.
over, Tony. You lost,
over.
bud.
I don't know. And that's maybe this is what Vince does. He'll settle out his whatever things he's going through, and he'll Tony, we're gonna partner up.
Well, I mean, they're definitely not doing great, but I didn't watch it, but that match with was it Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson? It was supposed to be like one of the greatest matches in a long time. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like, they've got talented people on the roster, but then they have the stupid fucking Young Bucks and Jungle Boy. I got fucking nothing, man. I'll tell you who I do have fucking respect for, though. After talking some shit, I do have respect for Kenny Omega. I like Kenny Omega. He's the only one of the EVPs and which he said he's not even really an EVP anymore. But I have so much respect for that dude. And I just can't. I wish he would go to WWE.
he can't stay healthy.
Well, yeah, he's got diverticulitis. You can't really.
Yeah, but even before that, he had that shoulder injury or was where he was out forever.
Yeah, but I would love to see him in WWE. I wish Claudio would go back. I wish Adam Cole would go back. I know Bryan Danielson, there's no chance of him going back except for when he gets into the Hall of Fame. There's just certain things there's certain people over there that I like, but by and large, I don't like the product.
There is one guy I am curious about. WWE just recently cut him. He was wrestling under Cameron Grimes. Trevor Lee was his independent name. I know he's got a lot of already bookings on the independent scene, but I'm curious to see if he does make his face shown in AEW. I don't know. Rich, you familiar with that guy at all?
No. I think AEW can come back to. I think this is just it's like ebbing and flowing. Because I guess the stuff with WWE is different because that was Vince McMahon making it suck. When he left, everything got better, and it's just going to continue to get better. But I think AEW can come back from whatever slump they're in.
I think that's
I don't think it's done for them yet.
I think that's a fair point. My thing is, I think, again, this is just my opinion. It could get better if you pull Tony off screen, and you put somebody in there behind the scenes that knows what they're doing, and then you put somebody on camera that acts like your figurehead. That's where they need to go.
This is the first time Tony Khan has really been involved in a storyline, though. Like, usually he just comes out and makes an announcement and then leaves, like if he's on TV. So he's not really on TV a lot.
Right. I think the problem is, though, the big angles tend to, at least the big angles that at least run around the circles, like the whole let's the all out or whatever it was,
the brawl
thing,
the brawl.
Thing. And to me, like, he's like obviously the center figure there because of the, he's the guy next to CM Punk, and he's the one doing all the interviews and all that crap. Basically, just too involved. Back in the day, obviously, Vince was too involved too, but the difference was that I think people understood Vince the character and Vince the guy behind the scenes is almost like there was two different people. Tony almost plays it like he's a super fan, and that's the problem. It's like, I can try to give the fans what they want all the time, but that doesn't work all the time. And I don't know. I just think he needs to just separate himself.
My biggest thing is he needs to not book at all. He needs to be the bankroll. If he wants to be the hype man, he can be the hype man. He can do I have no problem with him doing the press conferences, like sitting next to the talent, doing the press conferences afterwards. But goddamn, dude, get somebody that's a competent booker to book your shows for you, book your storylines, because you're just not doing it. And it shows, like, that you're just a fan. And you don't really seem to have too much creative potential, too much creative That's the word I'm looking for here. I don't know, but he sucks as a booker. Is basically what I'm saying.
And I think they've got something still there. And I think that's what, like, ultimately, I guess in my head, it's like, I really wish we still had the WWF, WCW, wars, so to speak. And, obviously it's like we can dog WWE all day long about, balls they drop and whatever. I mean, that's just what it is, especially whenever Vince was, running creative. To me, the problem is like with AEW, it's like you have a very similar thing going on with Tony Khan running the same side of the deal, running creative, running, booking the matches, doing whatever. But it's coming from the perspective of a super fan. It's not coming from a perspective of somebody that knows the business. And it's starting to come out finally. And I just, that's my thing. It's like you have something, separate yourself, bring someone else in. That's my take.
Yeah, man, I want them to do well. It doesn't help wrestling if they fail at all. I want to like them. I was super into them when they first started. I've gone to shows. I have nothing for their content right now.
Well, before we close up shop, does anyone else have anything to say, AEW or otherwise?
Penises?